If you're a Bitcoin holder, I have some amazing news for you. The biggest one has to be Fidelity Investments now entering the space, now going to be offering a Bitcoin fund specifically towards institutional investors. It is huge. So let's get started. So to start out, Bitcoin is still holding above 11,000, which is a fantastic thing. You know, people are still unsure if there's going to be another dip or another monstrous drop. But right now, Bitcoin does not seem like it's going anywhere. And it's really just hugging this 11,900 line, which is not a bad thing because in the past, when it tends to do that, it's gearing up for another leg up, and that's what it's looking like right now. When we were between 10,000 and 9,000, you could see we had some up and downs, some good ones, and then it kind of flattened out, and then guess what? A big movement upwards, right? So that's what it's looking like right now. Yeah, we had some up and downs, but overall, sideways, 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 and when it's ready, the next leg up could be tremendous. We're talking about 13,000, possibly even 14,000, and it breaks another previous high. So Bitcoin is doing its thing. The biggest news I want to share is this. Fidelity Investments now going to be in the game, and they're going to be offering a brand new Bitcoin fund. Now, I've been talking about Fidelity for quite some time. They first got started years ago talking about custody service. Now, when it comes to Bitcoin storage for custody, I don't really hear anyone talk about Fidelity, but you know, they're such a big company, well known. They have trillions of assets under management. So that was a big start for them. But now this is even bigger. They're going to be offering a dedicated Bitcoin fund for wealthy investors. And the minimum investment amount is $100,000. So they are definitely targeting the large institutional investors. To quote a spokesperson for Fidelity, Fidelity has made a long-term commitment to the future of blockchain technology and to make digital native assets such as Bitcoin more accessible to investors. They are doing it because they see the potential right now. It's a big business. They see Bitcoin only growing from here, and they definitely want a piece of the pie. If institutional investors are looking to invest in Bitcoin and they already work with Fidelity Investments, then it's just a perfect match. Now, Fidelity is probably looking at someone like Grayscale Investments, which a few years ago really didn't get much momentum, but recently, quarter after quarter after quarter, Grayscale has been getting an influx of cash. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. In fact, last quarter, Q2, they reported over $900 million came into Grayscale Investments. So, of course, Grayscale Investments, as well known as they are in the crypto space, they're really nobody outside the crypto space, right? Nowhere near the size of Fidelity. The name recognition, the history, it's just nowhere close. So the fact that Fidelity Investments is now jumping in, offering a fund, this is, I think, it's going to be huge, much bigger. It's going to attract much more money in than even Grayscale Investments, in my opinion. Now, it's going to take time to scale up. It's not going to be billions, you know, as soon as it opens, but over time, give it 6 months, a year, as Bitcoin continues to rise, as institutional investors and retail investors keep jumping in and start FOMOing in, this is going to be a huge thing for Bitcoin, in my opinion. This may or may not affect Bitcoin, but a lot of people think it will, especially going forward. So in the US, Chairman Powell is set to make a huge speech. All eyes are on this speech in terms of what's going on with the US and inflation. But despite the fact that there's so much printing going on and interest rates is still low, it was hinted that the U.S. inflation rate was still too low. So he might take more measures or put in additional measures to try to raise inflation, which we know is not good. When you have too much inflation, that's never a good thing. But That is why everyone is wondering what's going on. What is he going to say? We're in an unprecedented time right now. You know, we haven't seen anything like this before. So it's one of those situations where whatever he says could send the market skyrocketing or send it crashing down. And how does that affect Bitcoin, right? Most people think if there's signs of inflation or hyperinflation, I should say, that it is going to be very positive for Bitcoin. And I believe that. Right now, that's what it's looking like. You have a lot of wealthy investors, a lot of smart investors that are coming out and saying what the Fed is doing is unsustainable. There will be repercussions, and we need to prepare ourselves. We need to get our money out of cash into something that is a store of value, such as Bitcoin or gold or silver, but anything but cash. So a lot of people have been saying and talking about it, and we will see. So whatever Powell says during this announcement, this speech, we'll just have to see if it has immediate effect or it's kind of like a prolonged effect. Next, DCG, a big player, a big investment company in the crypto space, is now investing $100 million into Bitcoin mining. Now, if you aren't familiar, DCG is called Digital Currency Group, and they're led by Barry Shilbert. And Barry Shilbert, he's very active on Twitter, and DCG is one of the bigger investment groups out there in terms of investing in crypto companies and Bitcoin and so forth. So now they founded another company called Foundry, and it will put in $100 million towards mining in the United States, in North America, I should say. You know, because there's a lot of worries about mining is too centralized in China, and there's not enough miners outside of China. Well, this will be built in North America. And you know what? The reason why he's doing it, why is he putting $100 million into Bitcoin mining, is because he believes in Bitcoin that much. A lot of people do. If you're investing this much, it's going to take you a while to recoup the cost. But the rate Bitcoin is going at right now, it's definitely a long-term investment, a long-term strategy. And Barry and company, they don't want to miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So I think this is also very positive for Bitcoin. So lastly, let's look at DeFi Pulse real quick. 7.21 billion total assets locked in within the DeFi space. That is a lot. And recently I've been thinking about it, and I came up with a few, ideas of why DeFi is good for a space. You know, reasons that people haven't really heard of before. Also, I want to talk about a specific company that's leading this space and a new way to value these DeFi companies. It's kind of like an epiphany that I had. It's a new way to value some of these companies where in the past there really was no metric of any kind. I even have a Twitter poll asking people about it, and it's all over the place, right? It's very hard to value a crypto project, but I think I found a good one that I want to share with you guys. So I'm going to be talking about DeFi quite a bit tomorrow during my live stream at 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So if you're interested, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and tune in tomorrow during my live stream. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Take care.